Welcome to Spill the Tea about weddings. Hi, I'm Teresa.
Hi, I'm Sheila. Welcome to Spill the Tea about weddings with Teresa and Sheila. Hi, I'm Sheila. I am the owner of Finest Details. I'm a wedding planner, a wedding florist, and I have an event decor rental showroom in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Hi there, I'm Teresa. I'm the owner of the English Country Barn, a beautiful wedding venue in Magnolia, North Carolina. And I have to say, Sheila, I love your showroom.
It's fun to go
It's
shopping.
like going into a candy store for me. Yeah, I do love it.
I love to redecorate it and be in the space.
I love all the new things. Yes,
It's like
go visit.
It's a calm.
It is.
So first, let's start off by celebrating today. And usually we do with tea, but today we are going to take it up a notch. So we are celebrating, cheers,
Cheers.
that we have been almost a year into our podcast.
Wow.
And we have had so many conversations.
And never fallen out.
I know. Like we have it, and we have really, I hope, enlightened lots of other people.
I hope some of our ideas get taken with good heart.
I do. So today, I thought it would be a good idea for us to talk about who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
open
Well, we're
for
good
that?
at that, aren't we?
All
Talking
right.
about ourselves.
So you start.
Okay. So as you probably can tell, am not originally from North Carolina. So the English Country Barn name came about because Ian and I are both from the south of England. And we moved to North Carolina via Kansas over my dead body. We went to Kansas in 2005 and we were coming for 2 years, Sheila. Only 2 years. And so we did 13 years in Kansas, outgrew that. And Kansas is a big place, but we outgrew the place and decided that North Carolina could be the next adventure. So that's how we came to be in North Carolina.
And why, since we all know how much I love your desserts, why don't you tell them what you did in Kansas?
So in Kansas, I owned a bakery. Ian very sweetly bought it for my 50th birthday. I think he wanted to keep me occupied, keep me out of trouble, and give me something to do. No, seriously, I'd worked at the bakery for a few years just as a head baker. And when the couple were ready to retire, Ian thought, I know, let's have another adventure. And so we bought the bakery and I loved it. I turned it from a failing business into a very successful, popular bakery. And I learned a lot actually, because there were lots of things that we baked there that are basically unheard of in England. So, for example, and they're a bit more popular now, but I'd never made a cinnamon roll in my life until I came to the United States. So we did a lot of French patisserie and European baking, but we also did a lot of the firm favorites for you Americans.
So how did you go from a bakery to a wedding venue?
Walking across the field. Simply. So
did you buy the property with the intent?
No.
Or so you bought the property and then thought, we have the space.
Bored. So we'd sold the business in Kansas. Basically, the reason we sold it was my mother was very sick in the UK, so I needed to go home and spend some time with her before she passed away. And I didn't trust anybody well enough to leave the bakery in good hands. So 4:30 starts every day, which means a 3:30 start for you to get up and get there, can wear a bit thin after a while. So I was ready to do a new adventure. So after my mother passed away and we came back to Kansas, it was, well, what are we going to do now? So we sold the house and we're ready for another. Ian and I are fairly adventurous. We're obviously moving from one country to another. You are not the kind of wilting violet that sits around thinking that the world will come to you. So we decided that North Carolina was as good a place as any. And we originally bought 10 acres and figured that would be plenty. for about 6 months. So, and then we sort of expanded and bought a few more acres, and we were literally walking across a field one day, and I waved my arms around as my will is and said to Ian, wouldn't it be fun to build a wedding venue? So we did. We literally went home. I drew the plans on the plans. I mean, that's a very big word, on the back of a napkin. And the following day, bless his sweet heart, he made an appointment at a architect's place, and
so he was on board right away then.
well, I just think he realizes that with everything that I come up with, all my harebrained schemes, that it's quicker to say yes at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it probably is going to happen.
You have to give in.
It's just quicker. So yeah, I mean, and we sort of, it was almost like a rolling ball with moss, you know. We literally made an appointment at the structural engineers, and the only difference on the original plan on the back of a napkin to what happened was where we were putting the dressing rooms for the bride and groom. Other than that, that plan, I mean, obviously there are proper points in there and structural points, but the actual design is exactly as it was on the back of that napkin. So in 2020, because what else are you going to do when the world shuts down, we decided that we would build the venue. And we have happily been fully booked ever since.
Well, and it's every time I go, at least, let's just say maybe not every time, at least every 2 months, there's something new.
Oh, just wait till
Like
you see what we've got
treasure.
planned. As soon as the weather warms up.
You always say that. I'm like, what? Tell me.
As soon as the weather warms up and we could actually get outside. I mean, this winter has not been fun. And I love winter, Sheila, really do. I didn't love winter in Kansas because it went on and on and on. But I do prefer winter in North Carolina to the summer.
Right.
And Ian said to me when I bitterly complained about the snowstorm, be careful what you wish for, because actually I didn't like the winter very much.
Well, I missed most of our winter storm this year.
Lucky you.
Happily.
Yeah.
But we do have some great weather here for year-round stuff. And
We do.
even at venues, it's not very often that we get rained out or snowed out. It doesn't really happen. So, I mean, it's a great place for a venue.
I know, and the thing is, when you do get snow, it makes amazing photos. We might be cold, but it does make really beautiful photos, doesn't it? So, I mean, there's good and bad in everything. So, Sheila, tell me a bit about you.
So I have, I'm actually not from North Carolina, but it is home. I've been here for a really long time now. My father was military. He was in the Air Force. So we had been in Hawaii and Guam and Japan, and we're in South Dakota. And that's kind of where I say is home, but being a military child, you know, you kind of get to pick and choose where that home is. Absolutely love South Dakota. And I was around 11 when we moved here, and it was a big adjustment from being out west or international coming to North Carolina. And I love it here.
Well, you've definitely embraced a lot of the Southern tendencies, wouldn't you think?
Definitely
I mean,
vocally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even that. I think that, you know, a lot of the cultures.
I like the Southern hospitality.
Yes.
I like that when you walk by someone,
And
when
the
you're
sweet
out in public and
tea
say hello, that they say hello back.
Us Brits don't want to do that. I mean, us Brits, it's literally engage. Do not. We should wear blinkers like horses, I'm telling you, because it's do not engage. I mean, it's true. When we go on an aeroplane, you know how most people say, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, not us. When I get on an aeroplane, this is me. I sit down, I take out my headphones, I take out my book, and I do this, and I do not look at anybody because I do not want them to talk to me. And that's just the Brit thing. I mean, we don't want to make small talk.
And I think I was so young that when we moved here, that I really, even though I would come home and culturally think, gosh, things are so different here. You know, being military, I didn't grow up with the cousins and the grandmothers down the road. And we grew up as family being number one because that's what we had. But being in the South, you know, family is hundreds of people.
Right.
You know, and you go to school with all of your family. And it was a little isolating, like at first, because I didn't have some of those roots here, but I definitely made them. And I really enjoyed going to school here, and I'm in a small town, Goldsboro. It is, of course, where the Air Force Base is, and I love it there. I really love it. I love our downtown. I love to go, not just holidays or the fun summer concerts that we have, but I just love to walk downtown at night. I really do love the area. And one of the things that I found when I settled here, because I was very young, I was still in high school when I started my business. And originally, interior design and custom sewing kind of blended and blended. That's what everybody knew me as Sharp Designs. And I built my company. And so when I graduated, I went that day and got my business license and thought, this is it. Now, I did have a whole career that I worked at for 16 years until I finally built the confidence to say, I can do this. But I was still young enough that I thought, oh, I'll take a year. If it doesn't work, I'll just get another job. And I made that decision and stepped out, and I've never looked back. And now I wish I probably would have done it at 18, you know.
I think that's one of the things that you and I, why we connect so well, is that we're both go-getters and adventurous, and nothing is, you know, a challenge. If it doesn't work out, then that's fine, you can pivot and do something else. But by having that work ethic and that mentality that you want to make it succeed, I think gives you the opportunity to make it succeed, because the only excuse is yourself, isn't it, really? Well,
there's nobody to lean on but me. If I don't show up, there's nothing else to fall back on. There's no vacation pay. There's there's no sick days
we both
in this
know
world.
that if you take a day off, it just means you've got twice as much to do the next day as well, doesn't it, really? So, I think that that work ethic for small entrepreneurs is very important, isn't it, to be successful?
And it's one of those, because, you know, some of our jobs are seasonal. So I still have my interior design company, and with both, I've been in the wedding industry over 30 years, but I started Finest Details in 2019 to separate, because when I was answering the phone, I didn't know what service they were calling for, and I thought, okay, I just need to go for it, and I'm going to separate the two. But what I did in turn, by giving it a whole new name, was I started from scratch. And I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? I've got 30 years of clientele. I mean, I've done 6 weddings in a family, and I've just completely started over. I thought it would be fun and exciting, because even though I'd been in wedding planning and florals, I really wanted to bring upscale decor rentals into the industry, because then there really was no competition, nowhere that you could get that type of stuff to rent. And so I started, and then 6 months later I thought, oh, I should have stayed under my name. But now I look back and I think that's the smartest thing I ever did, because I proved to myself, even at this age, you know, that I can do it.
Yeah.
And
so which is your favorite arm of your business? Is it the decor, the rentals, the florals?
It depends if you ask on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm extremely organized. Like, planning satisfies so many things in my mind. I love planning, I love organizing, I love building those relationships. Like, everything about the planning is fun and exciting. I love the wedding day. And I mean, I really love working with other people. I have the satisfaction of seeing something from A to Z. I love flowers, like flower day. I usually lock the door at the shop, turn on the music, and just get to be immersed in flowers and think, gosh, I can't believe that this is really what I get to do. So I really, really love it. And I love the decor, because that's on the interior design side, is setting a beautiful table. It was what I've always been known for. I mean, I've always been known for elegant tables and fun parties. So I get to satisfy all of it, but I get to do something different every day. So I really can't say that one is above the other. I think they're all equally needed. Monday, if I'm focusing on planning, Tuesday, I'm in there making flowers. It's like, it just keeps me balanced, and I really, really love it. So I love all aspects.
So interesting. But obviously, Ian is my business partner with the venues. So we each have our strengths that we like to do. And we're fortunate enough that our strengths are different. So we each can to excel in the areas that we really enjoy excelling in. So I'm very operational, and I like the organisation of the setup days and making sure that everything is just so for our couples when they arrive. I like the planning days when they come and walk around and make their decisions about what they're going to do. Ian is very, he loves sales. So he absolutely thrives when he's meeting our couples for the first time and sharing their vision and their hopes and their dreams and all the plans. And then my personal favourite day is actually the day after weddings.
After?
Yeah, because all of our couples have a 3-day experience. So the day after, when they're exhausted, and they're still riding on that high of the enjoyment and the celebration, and they are just so happy. It's my favourite day because it's all come to fruition. Everything is done, and they can relax and say, "Best day ever."
Right?
Exactly. It's a bit. Yeah, it is absolutely. So I love that. And I love the creative side of waving my arms around and saying to Ian, "I've had an idea." And he
like that too.
I love it. He rolls his eyes and says, "Can you believe what now?" Very few of them I have to really push about. The patio took a bit of time for him to agree to because it was a significant job.
Patio is my favorite.
I love the patio too. But most of the jobs, but what is really funny, Sheila, is he'll say to me on Friday, "Who's planning this weekend?" And if I say Sheila, he rolls his eyes double and he says, "Oh my God, she's going to come up with something else, isn't she?" So because between you and I, and you might say, "Oh, I've had an idea of what would really help Teresa," and then so I go home and say, "We've had an idea." And bless his heart. I mean, he is such a good sport because he does. I mean, I've been known, I was feeding the cats one day and I just phoned him up. I mean, we see each other every day, obviously, but he was not in the same vicinity as me. And it was an immediate thought that had to be immediately answered. And I phoned him and I said, "I've had an idea." "What now?" And I said, "We need doors on the pavilion." "Okay, shall I come over and chat?" That man is amazing because that afternoon he and the builder had met, planned, and had the door structure all sorted out. And so, I mean, he'll just take care of it. So we do have our strengths, and his strength is to obey me.
I was amazed when I found out how hands-on that he had been with the whole construction of the venue.
I mean, all of those walls inside the venue he put up himself. So yeah, he does a very good job, and I do a very good job of bossing him around.
And he has a very friendly, likable, approachable personality.
I know. Do you know, the other day, somebody actually told me they didn't like him, and I phoned my friend in England. I know. I phoned my best friend in England and I said, "Can you believe somebody just said they don't like Ian?" And she said, "Ian?" I mean, it's often that people might think, "Oh, Teresa's a bit sharp," but never Ian.
Never Ian.
Just
he's so sweet.
He is. He's very kind.
Yeah, and he seems to be very understanding. And what I like when I say that he's approachable is when he comes in, when I'm there for a wedding, he will always go straight to the couple, congratulate them. They're always hugging. I mean, he's just very easy to get along with. And as a vendor, it's a dream when you have the owners of a venue that you can call or text and say, "Hey, I need this," or "What about this?" or "I have a question," and they respond. He's over there in 3 to 5 minutes.
Always, yeah. And something that does tickle me, because every week he'll say, "So who is it this week?" Because I keep the calendar, he doesn't. And he'll say, "Who is it this week?" And I'll give a name, and he say, "Oh, they're my favourite." Every single week.
Yeah.
They're all his favourites because he just loves people so much. So I mean, we're really fortunate that we do have strengths that are opposite, so we can bounce ideas off each other, and I can put him to work on the things I don't want to do.
Well, I just bounce off myself. But that's one of the reasons why I say I look in the mirror. I use that sentiment a lot. So if there's something happening, I'm like, okay, before I react on this, let me look in the mirror. Like, did I do everything that I could do? Because I don't, and that's what I've loved so much about building really close vendor relationships. If I have somebody else I can talk to that understands what I'm doing.
Yes, because I think
I'm
even
concerned
people
about,
who are self-employed entrepreneurs in other industries don't get it. They don't get that you're not available on weekends because you're busy. They don't get the late night that you have, especially you as a planner. I mean, I tend to get away with that a little bit more.
But 1:30, 2 a.m.
Exactly,
on
and
Sunday.
people. So which then means that on Sunday you're probably on a little quiet morning, and people don't get the industry, and they don't get the need that we have to make sure our couples are absolutely having the best day that they want. And that's not a sales pitch. People that are in the industry genuinely do care that their couples are having the best day that they can possibly have. This is one of top 5 of their whole life experiences.
Right.
And I'm always saying it's not a sales pitch.
No.
And I don't think there's many industries that you can say people genuinely care that much. And I mean, it hurts my heart if something goes wrong, and I know that other vendors.
It does for me, because especially if I'm the planner, because I don't require that they get all services. I can be just a florist or just decor. But if I'm the planner, I work so hard, sometimes a year and a half, or even 2 years with this couple, that I want it to be perfect. And I want it to be perfect for every other vendor too. Like, everybody needs to have success. And I hope that most wedding vendors, we all feel that way. None of us are responsible for making a perfect wedding day. But collectively, all together, that's what creates a perfect wedding day.
Yeah, and that's why when we build those relationships with people that vibe with us in the same way, that you can tell that they really care. And that's so important, I think, because it then does make the couple's experience so much better as well, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, when we get the feedback on a Sunday and they say, oh, such and such was absolutely amazing, and they couldn't have done my wedding without them, and you can have a long list of all these vendors that they couldn't have done their wedding without, which is true.
Right.
That without all of those coming together, it's not going to be the wedding.
And everybody working together, that's extremely important.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was one of the things when you first had the idea, because yes, it was Teresa's idea. She said, I think let's do a podcast, because you and I would sit around and we would laugh and we'd talk and we'd give our opinions, and we had nobody to listen to us. It was just us bouncing our laughter off of each other. And talked about doing a podcast. When we discussed it, it wasn't about being the most polished podcast or perfect setting. Matter of fact, we didn't even have video.
We didn't. We were just on our phone.
We just recorded it on an iPhone. We just wanted, our goal was not to have 1 million followers and create a second career. It was just vendors sitting down and talking honestly and openly, not only with each other to help other vendors, but our priority was to get information out to couples that were planning a wedding or preparing for a wedding, or the mother of the groom that might need advice, new vendors getting in the business, like they could get tips on what they needed to do if they're thinking about getting into the industry. Like, it wasn't about anything fancy. It was just about laughter and honesty, and, as we say, spill the tea, because we are very opinionated.
A little bit, just occasionally.
Very opinionated.
But I also think it's really important for everybody in the industry to recognize that our couples do this once.
Yeah.
I mean, we get them in the venue all the time saying, I've never done this before, I don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
And so by doing a podcast, it gives us the opportunity to let couples know the things that they might think about asking, or parts of the day that they haven't even thought about how the flow will work.
Right.
And as vendors, that's our responsibility to guide them with all of that. And the idea behind this is that we can say, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened at this wedding, no names mentioned, but for future reference, brides, don't do that, or do this, or, things that work or don't work. And I think that, we chat. And I just think that using that productively to help people is so, for me, it's really important, because it's not a sales pitch. It's just that we actually really want weddings to go as they should.
And I love that when we started it, our idea was for it just to be simple and
Sinful.
fun and light, simple and fun and light. And we've stayed true to that.
I think we have. I hope we have.
Yeah, yeah. So cheers again on that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How many have we done? How many It's over a year, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, I think we are at, there was like 89 last time I
And we've still got plenty to say.
But for now, we're going to say follow, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. That we have a whole lot of new ideas coming up, so hopefully you'll follow along. Bye.